Hey guys, LevelCap here, and we're at the end of E3. It was an epic one this year. E3 2015 is probably one of the best E3s I've seen in a long time. The game showings were astounding. The amount of games we have to look forward to is just almost unlimited. There's so much on the horizon that I am excited about. I'm going to try and tell you about my top picks in this video and some of the things that I'm really looking forward to. Now, without question, 2016 is going to be the year in which everybody pushes for VR gaming. We'll see if it actually takes off. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on it yet. It's very dependent on the quality of the technology, but we're having the Vive come out from Valve before the end of 2016, and then we got like a bunch more headsets coming out in 2016. The floor of E3 had a ton of VR setups, people using walking simulators, holding gun controllers, and basically playing shooters in VR. It looked very cool, but also pretty basic in a lot of ways. They have to tone down the graphics to get the frame rate high enough so that it's not nauseating while you play it. Then, of course, there was the Microsoft HoloLens being shown with Minecraft, and that blew my mind completely. I think most people, a product from Microsoft finally taking the world by storm. Haven't seen that in a while, but this thing looks badass. I want one. I hope it can actually live up to what they're showing us. If it can even do half the things they're showing it doing, I think it's going to be a massive success. I mean, Minecraft is one game, but imagine playing RTSs with this, laying your little units out on like the carpet of your bedroom or something like that, and moving Command and Conquer tanks around and engaging enemies. It just seems amazing and way ahead of its time. I'm totally surprised that this product is working right now. So I'm just going to keep my eyes peeled for anything coming out related to the HoloLens. Now let's talk about some of the games that really caught my eye. Obviously, Star Wars Battlefront is top of the list for me. I'm probably going to play that game more than any other game in 2016. I cannot wait for that. But how about some of the newly announced games? The Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildlands looks totally amazing. Giant open world game fighting the drug cartel, and it's got a heavy focus on co-op gameplay. Definitely a departure from the traditional Ghost Recon formula, but it looks cool and I want to play it. And when it comes to open world, the Fallout series does it amazingly. Fallout 4 kind of took E3 by storm. People are losing their minds about that game. Fallout 3 was a huge success. The modding community went crazy with it, and they're going to allow PC mods now on Xbox One and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool that you can design a mod on PC and then it will work on the console version of the game as well, because that's what really kept that game going after the initial release. And of course, titles that we've been waiting on for years, The Division, which has been delayed but looks amazing again at E3. The graphics perhaps not quite as astounding as they used to be a year ago, still look great, but I think a lot of other games have caught up to them in terms of the visual quality. Their gameplay trailer looks really cool, kind of shows a little bit of the backstabbing. This is again going to launch on all 3 platforms simultaneously, so it's a pretty big deal. I really hope the PC version isn't a crappy port. Then, of course, we have 2K's Battleborn, which was a huge title at E3. Massive line to play this game, huge booth. I didn't get to play it there, but it looks really cool. I've watched a lot of videos on this. A very story-driven game. Kind of looked like a MOBA at first, but now it seems like it's going to have a bunch of game modes that integrate a lot of story into it as well. And this is really cool to have a game that focuses so much on teamwork and playing with friends, but doing missions that are like story-driven. So borrowing a lot of really cool and successful ideas from MOBAs, like having tons of different characters that you can customize and play to your style, but also throwing them into a heavily story-driven game mode. It just looks really cool. I can't wait to try this out with my friends. Halo 5 Guardians is looking badass. They announced that there's going to be seamless drop-in co-op for some of the missions. There's AI in multiplayer now, so multiplayer game modes with like waves of enemies that you have to take out, or even fighting against enemy teams, but with AI mixed into it. It looks pretty crazy. They're going to have maps that are 4 times larger than any previous Halo maps in multiplayer, which is pretty crazy. So maybe they're going for a very, very big war-like experience, kind of similar to a Battlefield game. I think this game's got a lot of potential. I really freaking wish it was coming out on the PC. Now, speaking of games coming to the PC, the Gears of War remake is coming to the PC. That's pretty exciting for me. Personally, I really haven't been able to sink my teeth into Gears of War because I just don't play that many console games. I'm a PC gamer, but Gears of War looks like a badass game to play with friends, so I can't wait to try that out on PC. Now, of course, I gotta mention Black Ops 3. Black Ops 1 and 2 are some of the highest selling video games of all time, which is totally crazy to think about. So naturally, Black Ops 3 is going to be a massive title. I gotta say, personally, I'm just not that excited because the PC ports of Call of Duty games have been shitty. The last one was really bad. The mouse sensitivity was jacked up where it was just super inconsistent. I would be doing like 180s when I didn't mean to. I just try and turn a little bit. My character would flip around completely. They have fucked the PC ports so bad, so I really can't get excited about a Call of Duty game until they start showing that they care about the PC community. Now, of course, Rainbow Six Siege was there at the show. There's, you know, a few new maps, like showing off a few new gadgets and gear and that kind of thing. Something that made me really skeptical, though, is that they're already announcing that you get 2 free Rainbow Six games when you get this, some of the older Rainbow Six games, which is kind of cool, but it also leads me to believe that perhaps this game just isn't good enough on its own. That's like a red flag right there when they start offering you free games before the game has even come out. So I just don't think Ubisoft is going to put in the necessary time to make this game as good as it should be. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic. Now, how about some non-shooter games that caught my eye? The futuristic city building game Anno 2205 looked pretty cool. You can like advance your civilization from Earth to the moon, start building cities there. For people who are upset with the latest SimCity game, this looks like a good replacement for it. And by people upset with the latest SimCity game, I mean anyone who bought SimCity. It was pretty much a train wreck the whole way through. So this could be a great replacement since that's kind of an open market right there. Anyone who wants to take over the city building legacy from SimCity, you're welcome to it because they've pretty much failed on all accounts. The Fable Legends game also caught my eye. It's going to be free to play, cross-platform compatible, meaning you can play between Xbox and Windows. And if you rank up your character or get items on one platform, it'll transfer over to the other platform, which is pretty damn cool. Not a lot of games have done that before. Then again, this could be part of the always overpromised features in Fable and under-delivering that the game franchise is known for, but we'll have to wait and see. It is free to play, so I can't imagine anybody being too upset with that title. Then, of course, there was the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer, and if you're a crusty old gamer, you know that Final Fantasy VII is hailed as one of the best RPG games of all time. The trailer looked really freaking cool. I'm sure it's going to live up to its potential in terms of just doing the old game justice, but it does bring up an interesting point. Are we already at the area where we need to start remaking games? I mean, they've been remaking the Halo franchise, now Gears of War is getting a remastered edition, now we're getting Final Fantasy VII. I just hope we're not getting too much into the realm of what the movie industry is doing now, where they're just running out of new ideas, so they're just remaking everything. It's kind of unfortunate, and I think the game industry has got so many talented people in it that we don't necessarily need to dip into the remake bucket just yet. No Man's Sky still looks amazing, one of the coolest looking procedurally generated games ever. You can just go to anywhere in the galaxy, land on any planet, find new aliens, claim stuff. It's really hard to get a grasp on what the gameplay of that is going to be like, though. Like, is it going to be focused on combat, or is it really just more about exploring and having a fun time? Sea of Thieves looks interesting. There is a cool scene with shooting cannonballs back and forth on the pirate ships, which is something that I've always wanted to do in a video game in real time, is like be the dude on the side of the pirate ship lobbing cannons at each other and then getting close enough to board and fight. That looks really cool, and it looks like they're doing a good job just emulating that. Now, the new Doom game that was announced doesn't look as visually impressive as I was hoping it would be. Generally speaking, the Doom titles, or at least id Software titles, are trying to innovate the graphics engines and redesign how we think of video game visuals. Sadly, I don't think John Carmack had anything to do with this version of Doom. He's now working on the Oculus team, and perhaps that's why the game itself doesn't look as visually impressive as the previous id titles have. And then, of course, there's a ton of indie and third-party titles that just look really badass, and I recommend just checking them out. There are so many good titles at E3, I simply can't talk about them all in one single video. lots and lots of stuff to look forward to at E3. My top pick is still Star Wars Battlefront. I'm just in love with Star Wars and the tribute that this game is to the original trilogy. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought was the most interesting looking game at E3 this year, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.